What it do, what it do? It's your boy About It Bobby, your new favorite fat getter redneck. Welcome to the shit show we like to call Broken Banner. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you can get notified when we do this shit. Let's get into it.
Bitch, I'm Bobby, know I'm bout it on my mama, I'm on go. Country grandma, I'm in hammer, pop that work up on that stove. I've been 10 toes in the...
Well, I guess Christmas came early for Republicans because Jasmin Crockett has now decided to throw her hat in the U.S. Senate race in Texas. If you don't know who Jasmin Crockett is, right? She's the congressional woman for Texas District 30. And she's accomplished nothing in her district as far as she's done absolutely since 2023, sitting there, zilch. It's almost impressive how much nothingness she's done, except do viral TikTok videos that are dying trends. And but before we get into that, let's look at who Jasmin Crockett says, hey, these are the voters I'm after. I don't need Trump supporters.
In our politics lead today, it was something of a down-to-the-wire decision for Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmin Crockett to run for re-election to her House seat or shoot for the U.S. Senate. The Congresswoman announced her bid for Senate on Monday, joining an already somewhat crowded Democratic field. Joining us now is Congresswoman Jasmin Crockett. So congratulations on your announcement.
Thanks.
Your official announcement is just a video of you and an image of you while insults of President Trump of you play in the background. Why that decision? I mean, one of your opponents, Tallarico, he had a video, him with constituents, him with Texans. Why you solo?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to do something different. Because number one, in order to flip the state of Texas, we're going to have to do something that we've never done. So I wanted to stay on brand with the fact that we would be different. I also wanted people to understand who the president sees as a real threat, and it is me. He also made it clear a number of times that he sees me as a leader. Those were his words, not mine. And so I wanted to do that. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to do a real announcement with actual people, nothing that was staged. I wanted the real people, and so it had to be in that moment. So I also wanted to make sure that we delivered a full speech that had all the substance there. So on that same day, if you were paying attention or if you were interested, you got the full meat of what it is that I want to do as the next senator in the state of Texas, as well as I did this with the people right there at home in my district.
So last night you told Laura Coates on this network that you don't need to get all the Trump voters in order to win the Senate seat, assuming you win the Democratic nomination. We should note President Trump won Texas pretty handily by about 14 percentage points. So you don't need every Trump voter, but you need a big chunk of them. Explain the math to me. How does any Democrat, but especially one who is progressive and outspoken, how do you win over Trump voters?
So this is what I want to tell you about. There's two things that we need to talk about that are separate things that I think both of them are necessary to win. Number one, we actually have to turn out more voters. If you do the research on the state of Texas, we typically rank the lowest in voter turnout period in the country. We've got to get that up. I want to say the most recent one that I remember, maybe a little over 50% of people turned out. When we looked at Georgia and we saw Georgia go blue, what they were able to do is they were able to get more people to participate. So that's number one. So for me, it was always about expanding the electorate. Number two, this is a great talking point that we have heard over and over and over, that maybe you need to sound like a Trumper so you can get Trumpers to be on board. But what we know is that there were Trump and Mondami voters. There were Obama and Trump voters. There were AOC and Trump voters. So a lot of people want to distill this down into something as simple as, oh, it's progressive or it's this. But the reality is that people vote for who they believe in. They vote for the people that they believe really care about bettering their lives. And what we know is apparent is that a lot of people have been turned off by Trump. When we look at Tennessee, I'm not asking you to look far north or over in California. When you look at the red state of Tennessee, he won that seat by over 20 points, yet it came within single digits. When you look at Mississippi, they flipped 2 Senate seats. When you look at Georgia on November 4th, they elected 2 Democrats statewide. So what I am saying is people are finally saying, you know what, even those that voted for Trump, because there's plenty that regret it.
Yeah.
And I think that those people would be more willing to listen at this point. But I think you've got to expand the electorate, and you got to talk to anybody who actually says, you know what, he played us.
Let me tell you, let me ask you about a quote that you've made that has some Democrats worried about your ability to win statewide. In a December 2024 Vanity Fair profile, you talked about, quote, and I'm going to read a lot of the quote just to put it in the context, quote, all the complexities within the Latino community. The immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all, and I want no more y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would stay with y'all, but I don't want y'all coming to my new home. It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Now, about the time that that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong or Trump's immigration policies.
So I don't believe that the people that voted for Trump believe in what they're actually getting. That is number one. What Trump said is that he was going to kick out the bad guys. And that's what I was talking about. I've been down to the border. I've been down to South Texas. I've campaigned down there. And so I am talking about exactly what was going on when I was down there on behalf of the Beto campaign. In fact, when he was running for governor, I was sent as a surrogate. And I said, talk to me about what is going on. Why is it that they believe that they can win Latinos down here? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And there were people that were saying that they had fought and they had done everything the right way, and that there were bad people that were coming that were doing it the wrong way. And so they were saying, no, we left. And I mean, when you think about people that are leaving asylum, they are leaving areas and situations that they feel like are harmful to them. So yes, they're like, no, I don't want to be in this dangerous situation. And that's what I meant. But at the same time, I knew what Trump meant, because Trump had a record. Trump had a record of locking up kids and putting them in cages. So I knew what Trump meant. And so that's why it wasn't making sense to me. And ultimately right now, I just came from a joint hearing that we were having on the Senate side. It's the Senate as well as the House. The first time I've had a joint hearing ever since I have been in the House. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Latino American citizens that have been arrested by this regime. Some of those people may have voted for Trump. I don't know. But they agree that what he's doing now is wrong. And it's about right versus wrong and not right versus left. And he sold them a bag of goods. And I knew that that's what he was selling because I knew his record.
All right, Jasmin Crockett, we'll leave it there, but we know you'll come back and answer our questions as you always do.
Yes.
Congresswoman Jasmin Crockett, fresh Senate candidate. Thank you so much.
I would really love to debate this woman on polling and how these statistics work, because look, if there's one thing we understand about the Republican Party is complacency, right? Also in the Democratic Party, and even the Liberal Party. Look, the point I'm trying to make is it's not participation you need to worry about, right? Because look, at the end of the day, most people don't understand how civics work. And most people don't vote for nothing but their president, because they think, hey, if I voted my president, and yes, I'm also talking about the Republican Party, things will change for me, right? They don't understand how civics, politics, or any of these things work. They don't really even, they can't name the 3 branches of government, right? Now, that's not to call people stupid, but it's the honest to God truth. Voter turnouts for our side don't work, just like she loved to bring up the Afton Bain situation. Look, what happened in Tennessee, right, which we won, but even so, it was not the voter turnout that we had during the presidential campaign and run. It just wasn't, and it's not going to be, because you have a lot of people who get complacent and don't understand, hey, if I actually want to change things, I need to like vote for my legislative branch of government, because public education failed a lot of people, right? At the end of the day, I don't know what she's on about with these things of we just need to focus on the people who aren't participating. You need to really focus on the people who are participating that don't agree with you. I don't think you'll do good there because you don't hold a lot of their core values, right? The only things you do are go on TV and spew hateful rhetoric because honestly, not just the slave mentality of the Latino community, apparently, we also remember this.
Got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Now, see, you're supposed to be the party of tolerance, the party of we don't say hurtful slurs, the party of you can't do that. That hurts my feelings. You can't make fun of disabled people. Now, I'm not saying the Republican Party is the party that condones that. But what I am saying is this is the rhetoric you spew, the hypocrites within your party and you do this thing where you say, bad for Republicans, but we can do it, right? The left does that all the time, which irritates the shit out of me and other people, right? Like, look, just consistency, right? And we see no consistency from you people. This is why a majority of Texas voters will not vote for you. They're just not. You don't hold their core values. You made fun of a governor that they love for being disabled in a wheelchair. And then you also lie in the congressional house. You lie. We haven't forgot about this either.
Also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
You know what I think's absolutely ridiculous is for congressional people that you get voted in and do absolutely nothing since 2023, being sitting there, that go and spend $75,000 of campaign money just living in luxury hotels, getting their feet kissed by stupid other liberals, which is weird, by the way. We also remember that.
This is true.
She's on camera saying she'll do the radio.
I am. We're doing it.
Future senator of the great state of Texas. I'm gonna miss Ted Cruz so much. He's so likable.
I don't care if I voted for you or not. I'm not about to kiss your feet, dog. I'm just not. I don't know why white liberals feel the need to say, hey, my white guilt, this, that, and the other, I'm going to kiss your feet. It's honestly fucking weird, dude. It's weird. But anyway, back to the topic, and out of the weirdness. Look, dude, you've done nothing for your district. And that's honestly the point I want to hit on, right? Let's take a look at some of the things that you've absolutely done zilch for your district, right? So, and you can look this up, by the way. I'm not bullshitting you. She's either sponsored or co-sponsored 40 bills, right? It's either 40 or over. And none of them they've not made it past committee. They haven't passed, and they've done nothing for her district. That I think like 16.2% of her constituents are below the poverty line. Unemployment is rampant. Uninsured people is rampant. Schools are terrible. And some of the things that she does, again, most of the bills don't help or affect her constituents. Here, let's take a look. So the rule, HR 7412, look it up. The Rural Housing Voucher Enhancement Act, right? The bill never left committee. Pretty much, I don't understand why this was even a thing. No constituents benefit from none of her constituents anyway benefit from rural housing vouchers due to the fact that 99% of her district is urban. Shout out to the cows and cornfields outside of her district in rural areas, but nothing to do with her district. sponsored it. I don't know why. HR 9862, Combating the Housing Supply Shortage Act, right? Why it doesn't help our constituents? Let's take a look. It kind of messes with federal bond allocations, not actual housing, right? No money went to Dallas and no new units were built. It got introduced into the House and stalled. No results for rising rents crises in Oak Cliff, South Dallas, her district. Nothing. Did absolutely zilch. Zero. The Clear ID Act, which focused on ICE agents when all the stuff going on in Portland, like, hey, ICE, don't wear masks, even though they have credentials and give you their credentials when you ask for them. They wear big vests that say police on them. But apparently half of America can't read and doesn't know, like, hey, this isn't a federal agent right here. It's somebody taking somebody. Anyway, pretty much just regulates what ICE can and can't wear. The bill died in committee. Has nothing to do with housing, crime, which crime is rampant in her district also. Nothing to do with her district. Again, zilch, nada, zero. So we're still zero. Here's one I love, right? Because a lot of these people love to say, I'm not a bureaucrat for Washington. I'm going to help my district. I'm going to do so much and fight. Just like she said she's going to fight. I just want people to know, and people want somebody that's going to fight for them. You sound tough on TV, Jasmin, but yet you did something that most of these people in Washington do. You fought for people in Washington and not in your district because you don't care about people in your own district, right? The Help Feds Act, right? It was a student loan forgiveness thing during the government shutdown that only helped federal workers, right? Now, 99% of her district is urban, but there's no federal workers really in her district. It helped. Who are you trying to help? Majority of her district is healthcare, food services, and things of that nature. I mean, look, it had nothing to do with debt, medical debt, rent, crime, housing, nothing. But you sponsored it and tried to pass it for federal workers in Washington. Nothing to do with your district, dog. But you're gonna fight for people. Let's look at here's HR 5842, or as I like to call it, I hate Trump Act. I don't like Trump, so I'm gonna pass this. No Presidential Payouts Act, right? Now you can literally look this up. It bans the president, right? Because it's purely an anti-Trump bill that says, hey, you can't, no practical, no legal settlements or anything. No federal money can be, you pretty much can't use federal money to pay his, President Trump's lawyers and things of that nature. You can't do it. The dude's a million billionaire. Like, bro, dude's got money, bro. Like, what are you on about? You think he needs, he doesn't even get a paycheck, dog. You think he needs federal money to pay for his lawyers? Are you stupid? Like, what do you think you did there? Which, again, you wasted time, and not just your time, right? The time of your constituents since 2023 to actually do something for them. You have done absolutely nada. None of your bills have made it past committee. None of your bills have done anything for your constituents. None of your bills help your constituents. Again, zero. I don't know how clear I can make this, but you're talking about running for U.S. Senate to try and fight and help people when ultimately you haven't even, look, it's kind of like when you get your driver's license. The first time you get your driver's license, this is what she did. In 2023, she got elected, right? And during that time, as a congresswoman, you're supposed to do something for your district. You've done nothing. So you got your driver's license, you got elected, and now you're trying to say, hey, I'm ready for NASCAR. I'm ready to drive with the big dogs. You've done nothing. You talk about bringing receipts, and you have none. You have 40 bills that haven't even passed committee and do nothing to help your district. Those are the receipts you have, Jasmin. And honestly, to anyone who's thinking about voting for this lady just because she yells at Republicans, you need help, honestly, because at the end of the day, I don't know if your vote matters. It does, right? Everyone's vote matters. But if you decide to vote for someone who has no receipts, Republican or Democrat, that has no receipts of helping any of their constituents, they just go on TV in prime time and they want the spotlight to yell at people, and they say, we're fighting for you. You're doing nothing. Even during the Biden era, nothing. You've done nothing for your constituents. I don't know why I would waste my vote on you. I don't know why I would even say, look, you're a good, I think you shouldn't be in Congress. I don't even think you should be a part of the legislative branch. Like, if you've not even tried to do anything for your constituents, but tried to help rural areas when your area is 99% urban, but yet you want to sit here and say you're fighting for people. It's honestly laughable and impressive the nothingness you've done in Congress since the 2 years you've been there, going on 3 possibly. But at the end of the day, it's Christmas for Republicans. Because, I mean, I'm a Wesley Hunt fan, to be honest with you. Love the guy. Holds some of my core values. I would vote for him, but I'm not in Texas. So, either way, I think you should take a long, hard look at Jasmin Crockett. Not just let her be the victim of some Trump insults and be like, oh, because Trump insulted her, I'm going to vote for her. Not because she goes on CNN all the time and tries to yell at Republicans, or not because you see her yell at Marjorie Taylor Greene in the congressional house on the floor and insult other people with no decorum at all. Because apparently, I don't know if this new generation who's very indelved in politics but doesn't know how it works, the left doesn't seem to have decorum, but yet rants and raves that we're the party, the Republican, the conservatives are the party with no decorum, no respect, and all of these things, right? I think it's stupid. I think you're hypocrites, honestly. But either way, have a good one. Your vote counts. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell icon. We'll see you on the next one.